Uh, uh, accent.
Yeah, I have an accent. I hate my accent.
Say hi, accent.
Hi, guys.
She from Istanbul.
Turkey.
From Turkeys. We've been to Turkeys before. Monica, you should be here. You could make some money, girl. Stop. If you in LA, Monica come through. You know what I'm saying? Where's she at?
Guys, that is Paul Pierce. The truth. Okay? The truth. Paul Pierce out here living his best life over Easter weekend. But unfortunately, when you work for Mickey Mouse, you can't get caught goofing around. Okay? You can't be caught goofing around like that. Because ESPN has fired Paul Pierce. Yes, they fired Paul Pierce, who was an NBA analyst for the company, okay? And some of you guys may be asking, why are you talking about this story? Well, one, it's a funny story, right? And it's a little bit different than the usual stuff. But two, because I think the hypocrisy from Disney and these woke companies, right? It's just so appalling, right? It's so appalling, and it has to be called out continuously, okay? Because they fired Paul Pierce on his day off. Right, on his day off for being on Instagram Live, gambling. He was probably smoking marijuana, it looked like. He had some adult entertainment there, some exotic dancers. In my opinion, the services were probably a little bit more comprehensive than that, but apparently this is what he was doing, right? And he basically posted himself, you know, engaging in these activities. ESPN, aka Disney, because Disney owns ESPN, fired him for it, right? They said that if somebody else was recording him, then they want to fire him, but because he recorded himself, they fired him, okay? Now, when I first saw this, right, I was like, ain't this man married? So I don't know whether or not to think that, you know, he's a legend or he's just really stupid. Probably a little bit of both, okay? Now, when it comes to Disney firing him for this, honestly, I really think that this is hypocritical from them, right? Because we live in an age where, you know, you turn on the Grammys and you have Meg Thee Stallion and Cardi B doing things that I would define as probably just as bad as anything you saw in that video, right? Just as bad, okay? And everybody celebrates that, right? We have got to a point in our society where we celebrate women being sexual, right? That's something that, you know, the left likes to celebrate. But when a man is, you know, doing this thing, whether you agree with it or not, right? Whether you agree with it or not, he's a married man, but that's between him and his wife. When he's out there doing this thing, oh, that's an issue. Oh, that's a problem, right? And this is on his own Instagram. It's not like he's putting this out there on national TV, right? Or anything like that. I also find it interesting how Disney doesn't like when actors like Gina Carano speaks out her opinions, right, politically, right? She can get fired. And I know I'm about to use whataboutism here, but I just need to know what the standard is for Disney, okay? Because like I told you guys, Meg Thee Stallion and Cardi B, they on stage, Grammys, you know, doing their thing. Meg Thee Stallion was on First Take one time, right? Talking about the Houston Rockets, and she didn't even know the name of the head coach, who was Mike D'Antoni at the time, right? Why are you talking to her on First Take about basketball? Why are you talking to her? It doesn't make sense. So it's not like you're talking to her because she has basketball knowledge. You're talking to her because she's made a career out of sexualizing herself. Okay? And this is also the company that puts out pictures of nude athletes on their magazine covers every single year, right? So it's not like they're against nudity, right? They're not against that. And there was no nudity in the video, okay? So it can't be that. So obviously you're not against women sexualizing themselves, but you're against a man enjoying himself, right? Doing his thing, whether you agree with it or not. He's doing his thing, and he's living his best life in his own private time, right? In his own private time. Now all of a sudden, you got an image to uphold. Oh, that doesn't reflect our values. That doesn't reflect our values. But Disney, this same company that's so concerned about their values, is in bed with China. Okay? They're in bed with China, who arguably has concentration camps that are abusing human rights. I mean, y'all want to talk about boycotts. I mean, even the Biden administration is considering boycotting China over their human rights violations, okay? Like, that's some serious stuff going on over there. But you'd be more than happy to take money from them, right? That's not a negative reflection of your values. But somebody who's on their own off time, doing their thing, enjoying themselves, again, whether you agree with it or not, all of a sudden, that's too much for us. But I will say, this was stupid from Paul Pierce, right? If he wasn't trying to get fired. There's rumors that he was trying to get fired, right? He reacted to this in a way that suggests that he's going to be just fine. But if he wasn't trying to be fired, yeah, that was stupid, right? It was a stupid thing to do. It was unnecessary. And like I said, it wasn't necessarily a good look, okay? And I think it's important that people understand the dangers of social media, that, you know, you should be careful this day and time what you put out, right? Flexing for social media is something that Paul Pierce can do and get away with because he's a millionaire, right? Average person probably wouldn't be able to get away with that, right? If you work for corporate America. And I'm not necessarily saying these companies shouldn't have the right to fire employees for whatever reason they want, right? Like a lot of companies do. But, you know, I just find it funny how, you know, this day and time, these woke companies are loosely defining what their values are and what aligns with their values, right? You can be fired for political speech, right? Speech that you put on your own platform that's outside of work. You can be fired for being on Instagram, doing your thing, you know, living your best life, okay? And I really do believe that if this was a woman employee at ESPN and she was recording this same video and she was like, and she was twerking and saying, "Yas, queen, yas, queen," you know what I'm saying? I don't think this would have had the same outcome. I really don't. I just want these companies to define what their values are, right? And stick to those values. Just clearly define to me what you care about, okay? Because, again, you got people out here being fired for political speech, being fired for doing anything on Instagram, but yet this same company that has these so-called values is in bed with a country that may be violating human rights, right? Allegedly. So, who knows, man? Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.